come on, man. You know, if you really love this country the way I believe you do, join us, man, and talk to us, and let's be civil and not name call at each other. Let's talk about the real problems, dude.
At first, I didn't like some of the language they were used. I think it's definitely got to be more inclusive.
Everybody has to realize. This movement. It's bigger than all of us.
There's a misconception that it's all about Wall Street. It's all about financial, and it's not. It's way bigger than that. It's about economic and social justice, and underneath those two categories are a lot of things.
We are members who are mediators.
Who can help facilitate conflict resolution.
I mean, in Seattle, they're arresting people for standing on top of their jackets to keep their feet warm. The people aren't allowed to sleep on the benches. If you're sitting down for too long, the cops will come by and, like, you know, kick you in the legs or something like that.
In addition, there are currently in excess of 300 cases, criminal cases, against people, nonviolent, civil disobedience, Occupy Chicago members who have been arrested over the last couple of weeks, and those cases are still open.
People just come back the next day. We live here. This is our street. This is our park. Where else are we gonna go? I mean, did you really think you were gonna come down here and, like, tear gas our room, our house, our neighbors, and we weren't gonna come back out the next day? You've got to be kidding me.
One of our lawyers just reported to the General Assembly on the results of a meeting with the Corporation Council for the City of Chicago, and they were not open to the idea of a permanent home for Occupy Chicago.
There is no drugs or alcohol in any Occupy movement.
There is no drugs or alcohol in any Occupy movement.
Leave it at home.
Leave it at home.
There's a lot of issues, and I'm very disappointed on a political level that I don't feel like he's really been a leader of the Democratic Party. I don't associate with any parties anymore. I now consider myself bipartisan, just like this movement is.
I've honestly gotten to the point, I'm not worried about them at this point, man. They're on the top floor, and I'm talking about our future while my brothers and sisters are being arrested for sleeping in tents, having rubber bullets fired at them, having tear gas fired at them.
I helped work that campaign. I went out and froze my rear end off at inauguration. And to see that administration come into office and break as many campaign promises as they did, which some were to be expected, but some of the major ones that moved me was huge.
Regardless of how silly these people that's running against you may be, you won't get my vote. I will no longer participate in the process if you don't come with something fair.
You know, if you want to support Occupy Wall Street and you are a person in a position of political power, here's my suggestion for you. Make them stop beating us up in the middle of the night. Start with that. I don't even want to hear about your support until you start coming out and saying, I will not let Americans get fired at with rubber bullets.
For me, this is about making my government work for me again.
Shut the doors on these special interests and come talk to people, man. Because if I can travel the country talking to working class people, you can too, man.
What we do depends on the direction of the General Assembly, because they call the shots, and we're their lawyers, and we just represent them.
And change the way that people see us.
And change the way that people see us.
Not as a bunch of hooligans.
Not as